Pentru că, cel puțin din experiența mea personală și a bărbaților din jurul meu, most of the time when women did these things în care I guess nu sunt considerate, I don't fucking know, nu normă, nu sunt considerate a thing that women do, cu approaching men, paying for this, whatever. Most of the time it happened cu femei care cunoșteau deja bărbatul și știau că ar fi ok cu chestiile astea, da? Atâta timp cât știi că most men, da, au fost învățați to not be attracted to this, chestia astea nu sunt... Am prietene, da? Am prietene care n-au vrut să lase bărbatul să facă una dintre chestiile de genul, uite cum e aia cu plătitul și whatever, and he got fucking offended by it, da? Gen, nu accepta ideea, se simțea emasculat de ideea de cum adică vrei să-ți plătești băutura asta, lasă-mă pe mine să-ți plătesc băutura asta. Of course you're not gonna do it after that experience.
With trying to be like a man when really, let me ask you a question. Are you more attracted to a woman that has a high-paying job or to a woman's beauty?
That doesn't matter.
It does matter. It does matter to me.
You asked me. You could, but I would like to say...
întrebat, does it matter what?
To be like a man when really, let me ask you a question. Are you more attracted to a woman that has a high-paying job or to a woman's beauty?
That doesn't matter.
It does matter. It does matter to me.
You asked me. You could, but I would like to say...
a mother figure rather than a woman.
Absolutely not. But I would like to say that you're saying that women, have a higher... have antidepressants, but men, I'm a social worker, so men 1 out of 10 are more likely to experience depression, but more likely to go undiagnosed and not seek therapy or help. So I do think, and women also, you have to consider the fluctuation in hormones, pregnancy, because that can alter, their...
Am o cunoștință care vede femeile ca o povară financiară fiindcă trebuie să le cumpere mese în oraș și cadouri. Da, pentru că a fost învățat că a fost, first of all, a fost învățat că are o datorie să facă chestia asta. Că nu ar putea să existe vreo relație cu o femeie care nu trebuie să facă chestia asta de fiecare dată. Which ești învățat chestia asta foarte des, da? Și nu crede că nu există o alternativă, crede că nu există o opțiune și pe lângă asta, pe lângă că crede că este îndatorat să facă chestia asta, crede că că toate femeile vor asta, da? Toate femeile have that expectation, which is not true.
Mental health. So I think that's kind of a moot point, but I feel like, I'm not looking for a mother figure, I'm looking for an equal. So I feel like with, if we're saying that women, they're like going home crying, looking for men, I think it's also that societal pressure that tells you at the same time you have to have multiple women. They're telling the women you have to have that one man, that husband, by a certain age, have kids by a certain age. There's more pressure on them.
Dar e drăguț, da. Ok. Sure. Stai, despre ce vorbeam înainte cu plătitul găsi și whatever. Sure. Este drăguț și if you can do it and you find pleasure in doing it, do it. Da? If your partner gives you signs that they don't want you to do it, do not do it. It's as simple as that.
Than there is men. And for, lack of a better term, I think men have gotten off a lot easier because women have so much pressure and they get judged more harshly than men do for talking about back then when men used to go home, bring home the bacon or whatever, the domestic violence rate was pretty high during that time. And I'll also
ce ziceam, că zicea el de nuclear families, ăla în costum.
Say that for people of color, we never really had the luxury of working one job. So my parents, their parents before them, everybody always had to work, men and women. So there was always that equal opportunity for them to be able to see that they could do it together as opposed to put that one pressure. And I also would like to ask, if you guys find submissive women more attractive than dominant women, is that because it makes you feel more validated as a man, or is there something there that you feel like feeds into your purpose as?
Pe mine mă enervează rău când băiatul insistă să plătească chiar dacă eu mă simt uncomfy, că mereu se simte că voi fi cumva datoare. Da, sunt sigur că am mai avut discuția asta și sunt oameni care nu înțeleg de ce o femeie nu o femeie, în general, de ce un om ar refuza când se oferă cealaltă persoană să plătească. diferite motive. Unul pe care îl zice și Jung aici este ăsta cu faptul că te simți dator. Celălalt e că maybe all your life you've been used to that și it feels nice that you can now pay for your things și whatever and you wanna do it. Nu vrei, că mai ales din păcate foarte mulți bărbați au impresia că if they pay for these things, they're entitled to something. Și ca femeie s-ar putea să nu vrei ca bărbatul să facă chestia asta de frică că se va simți entitled to something. Sunt foarte mulți terminați care au impresia că te-am scos, am ieșit, am plătit pentru cum îi zice? Am plătit pentru chestiile astea și acum nu mai vrei să mai ieșim încă o dată? Sunt extraordinar de mulți bărbați de nu înțeleg de ce femeia nu mai vrea să mai iasă cu el încă o dată după ce uite, în capul lui a fost foarte nice date-ul, a plătit el pentru tot, nu știu, nu părea pentru el că se simțea inconfortabil într-un punct sau altul. It puts pressure. Și some people do not want that pressure. Da, cum adică ți-am plătit cafeaua de 10 lei și nu ne futem?
Yeah, well, it's a balance. If I'm a dominant person, I need a submissive. If I meet a dominant woman, we're gonna butt heads.
What if that changes? Like, what if she grows? Because I would love everybody to be able to grow throughout life. What if she starts becoming more dominant? Is that like a?
Are you saying if she starts becoming more dominant in a relationship?
More dominant or equal to your dominant?
Oh yeah.
Eu am primit de astea cu da, bine mă, ești feminist, am înțeles. Ce când ai zis că you don't want him to pay for everything? Oh.
She's gone. She's finished.
And see,
We're done.
And see, that's my thing. Like, look, I got children. I don't need somebody else to take care of. And I love your thing about, the Prince Charming and everything. But you know what I need? I need a badass woman who can match my badass energy. I work with my wife, and I'm going to tell you, I take care of her, she takes care of me, and she's badass. And that's what I'm attracted to. I don't need a submissive that I have someone to take care of. And then it's fine. If she goes through that, then I'll be there, and I will take care of her. But I'm not looking for somebody, another child to take care of.
I think we gotta switch the betas and alphas over here.
And have to dominate and tell, you go over there. This is where we're going to go to dinner. This is where we're going to do that. No, that's why what he was saying, I was going to bring that fact up too. A lot of men are depressed because they're putting on this shield of I have to be the leader. I have to do this. And you know who goes to get help first? Women.
Okay, that totally makes sense. I think if we're talking about men not ever dealing with their emotions, it makes sense for this argument that you guys are talking about. But I'm the firm believer. I've gotten a lot of therapy in my life. I've done a lot of things for myself personally to resolve my own internal conflict. Okay, so it's a job of alpha men. The real integrated alpha man has the capacity to understand what
a real integrated alpha male.
He's feeling, why he's feeling the way that he is, articulate in a way that is productive to the dynamic. So a real man is someone that understands himself deeper at an emotional level, has taken the time to do that so he can show up as a rock, not so he can show up more emotionally.
Problem is that if you're super
what's the problem with him showing
emotional, when we talk about the whole thing of being submissive or dominant, your woman is going to dominate you because you're so emotional.
What if someone is looking for that? What if both people in that relationship, both the woman and the man, are looking for that?
Unstable. Yeah. Let's say that. It's let's stop using emotion. Let's start using emotionally unstable.
Right. Since you're so emotionally unstable, she's going to dominate you, and then she's going to lose respect for you, and that's going to teeter the waters of the relationship.
But do you lose the respect? Wait. So that means they have no respect for their partners. Dacă zic ei că poziția de dominant automat te face să-ți pierzi respect față de partener.
Relationship.
So, you guys know dominatrix exists for a reason. And by the way, I used to personal train at dominatrix. You guys are their clients.
Yeah.
Not me, cowboy.
I'm being serious. It's a very hidden thing. I used to date them.
Le-a zis la his alpha brethrens că ei sunt genul de clienți pe care l-au female dominant. Și by the way, it is true that a lot of men that portray themselves cum sunt acești alpha do have a hidden thing for that.
High positions of power, very alpha, but here's the thing. I think you guys put a little bit too much pressure on yourselves. It might be a societal thing. I've dated submissive women before. I find them highly annoying. Sometimes I just want somebody to pick a choice I like her places. She's got better taste than I do when it comes to that kind of stuff. So please go ahead. We do butt heads once in a while because she is dominant. But does that mean she lost respect or attraction for me? No, not at all. And trust me on that one. So I think it does depend on your energy. You have a very high one.
Bine, hai la următoarea întrebare. I am great at sex.
I am great at sex.
Oh, come on, man.
I mean, I have a lot to learn.
Ce pula are întrebarea asta?
So what are we discussing?
Îmi place că ăla a rămas în spate.
Prove it. right now.
Bro, this was a chance to redeem yourself.
No, I know, but it's just...
All right.
Actually, I'm gonna go back.
Sorry.
With my partner, my wife, I'm
By the way, this only means that what does this mean? Because at the end of the day, it might mean just that you one of the things that it can mean e că you and your partner complement each other in that way. Da? Because when you do have sex, e good for both of you and you complement each other and it works out for both of you. So what else can it mean?
able to not only connect physically, but also emotionally, and I think that's the biggest trick I've learned, not trick, but the thing I've learned about my years of being with my partner. You have to sort of keep the spice going.
I would say, I think the fact that we have a woman who
În ultima vreme am mâncat semințe. Din când în când. Mi-am redescoperit iubirea către semințe. Dragostea față de semințe. Mă enervează atât de mult că pe stream n-aș putea mânca semințe. Pentru că ați auzit de fiecare dată când sparg o sămânță.
keeps coming back,
Asta era un video perfect de mâncat semințe, doar atâta zic.
or who keeps wanting it, I think that, that's a sign that she thinks you're great at sex. You know what I mean? Because she actively wants to keep it going and keep it going in that direction. I will say though, I'm better at sex with.
Nu cred că ei obligatoriu nu au respect. Nu. Tortieta. Eu nu zic că e obligatoriu nu au respect pentru persoana dominantă. Eu zic că dacă femeia ar fi într-o poziție dominantă, that would mean the woman loses respect for them. Deci dacă spui că o persoană într-o poziție dominantă, automat pierde respect față de persoana într-o poziție submissive, ca e asta zic când vine vorba de bărbat submissive, femeie dominant, atunci înseamnă că și ei, la rândul lor, fiind în poziția dominantă din relație, au pierdut din respect pentru partenerul lor. Sau li se pare că e ok să aibă mai puțin respect față de partenerul lor. Dar știu că în spațiul alpha male foarte mult ideea că asta cu she loves respect, she loses respect for you când te domină femeia, da, ok, am zis asta, scuze, trebuia să citesc până la capăt. De obicei mi se pare că vine din faptul că mulți devin disperați când pierde relație de sub control și atunci de adevăratele își pierde și partenera respectul pentru el și își pierde și el respectul de sine, punându-se în situații în ce în ce mai umilitoare, cu umblatul în telefonul ei, etc. Ok, și what does that do for their argument cu the man should be in the dominant position always? Mă rog.
Women I care about. So I think, and me being a player and a guy who goes out and talks to a lot of different women.
Le spargi în incisiv sau le bagi la măsele? Cum e că le bag la... Nu le sparg în incisiv. Le sparg... There are people de le sparg în gură. Eu le sparg în gură. Eu nu le țin în mână. Le sparg în gură. Despart cu limba miezul de... sunt profesionist. Despart cu limba miezul de... coajă în gură și după aia scuip coaja. Păi în incisiv le spargi? Nu. Le sparg aici, la măsele. Bag în gură sămânța, o sparg acolo, desparg cu limba miezul, îl țin în gură și scuip. Cu aici, ce limba ai? No, it works for me.
If with my
Am degete la limbă.
girlfriend or like my wife or whatever like that, sex would be great. With the other girls, it's
Ok, bine, întrebarea asta, nu știu ce bună. Women should not be in positions of power. Aoleu. Prezic 2 oameni o să iasă în față de la Alfa. 2 sau 1, cred.
Women should not be in position of power.
Ok. Ah. Am zis 2 sau 1.
Game over. Just like his hand says.
I'm the only one. I think a woman can be in a position of power only by herself, but not in relation to being in a relationship with a man. Because when she's in a relationship with a man, the man has to be the leader. The man has to be the one that's guiding the situation, directing the situation. If it's in any other situation by herself,
Ăsta a rămas la relații. Întreba altceva, întrebarea asta la whatever.
with work, you know, with her friends or whatever, she can do whatever she wants to do.
Game over. Your game is over.
Da, îmi place cum sunt 3 totuși, nu, 2, care au zis că vor, adică n-au nicio problemă cu femei în poziții de putere decât când e cu ei.
I first want to ask because there was a lot of like has to, have
Că ăsta n-a vorbit până acum.
to's, but
Nici n-am realizat că mai există o persoană.
like not really a reason behind it. Like, can I ask like what's your reason?
Cu tremur Arad,
why a man has
merită.
to be in the power, like in power. Why can't a woman be in power?
Power is such a weird word. I would say more like the leadership role.
Ok, bine.
And
Subit
the
întrebare.
thing is that
A man can just be friends with an attractive woman. Why not?
A man can just be friends with an attractive woman.
can
Cat.
No technicalities, bro.
So I think it's all about, again, as
N-a mers Derek. De ce n-a mers Derek? Why is he sitting there?
Bro.
so I think it's all about, again, as
Says a lot about you dacă crezi asta, dacă cred ce. Ce... Stai, nu știu la ce te referi. La care chestie te referi?
we've been saying before, it's all
La întrebarea asta te referi?
about choices. I think if you find a woman attractive, it depends on, you know, are you going to choose to pursue her or not? But for some of us, you know, like if we're speaking from personal experience, I've met many attractive women, and that's not the only thing that, you know, I'm looking for. It's also about personality. So she can be a 10, but if it's like the personality is just, you know, someone who doesn't challenge me on a spiritual level, emotional level.
Sunt oameni care zic la acest debate cu people can be friends with attractive people without whatever being attracted to them. So without wanting to pursue anything with them. Sunt oameni care zic, păi, automat, odată ce categorisești persoana aia ca fiind attractive, deja e prea mult, gen, you're considering, gen, you can recognize that someone is conventionally attractive sau whatever, and you don't. Și Saifarul încă nu mi-ai răspuns la says a lot about you dacă crezi asta, nu știu la ce te referai.
Someone who also is like emotionally unavailable, like, then it doesn't really matter.
I have friends who, like, you know, I would consider very attractive, but then at the same time, and when I think about it, I wouldn't be able to stand like being alone in a room with them for like more than like 10 minutes. You know what I mean?
I can acknowledge if like
Exact, annoying attractive people do exist.
female friends of mine are attractive, but doesn't mean I'm like sexually attracted to them. And it comes to a point where like I see them as like sisters or just such close friends that even like the thought of them naked. Like,
Dar sunt curios de
grosses
ce
me
n-ai ieșit
out,
Derek
'cause,
la în
like,
față.
I just don't see them that way. I see them as like very close, like almost like family in some cases and things of that sort. And you know, sometimes like you grow up with certain women and you see them as like a sister and you see them as a close friend, and you just grow up and you don't see her like that.
Fundamentally, what's natural and what is possible, I think, are two different things. Is it natural to not be attracted to a very attractive woman to you? I don't think so. But with a lot of intention.
Mă enervează când zic de cineva că e attractiv și vine întrebarea would you fuck them? În ce condiții vine întrebarea asta?
With it, and your priorities are elsewhere, and you're very intentional with how you're showing up in that space, I think you can do it. And I think that was the question, if it can be done, not if it's natural or not.
Just tell like this, it can be done, but it's not natural. What the fuck?
If I'm attracted to you, honestly, I'm trying to smash. You understand? We gotta have sex, and we have to be in some type of sexual situation, or I don't
Doamne, he's the worst one out of them all.
really want to, interact with
El și ăla în costum.
you. On top of that, I don't believe in giving women non-sexual attention unless we're in a relationship. And the
Nu și rosește el timpul dacă nu fute.
reason why is because I feel like non-sexual attention from a man towards a woman is very valuable. So I'm not just giving you that just to be friends. You know, so I'm saying, like, I'm not just going to do that for you. And so what it is that if I'm going to do that for you, you have to be under my program, which means that we're in some sort of sexual relationship between me and you. You see what I'm saying? So that's how I look at that.
I think that men and women can be friends. It's just not because the man wants to. Most often, it's the man is trying to sleep with the woman.
Right.
And he's trying to hang around long enough for her to slip up and make that happen. I mean, let's keep it 100.
No, you do. Come on. Da, clar, poate ai avut situații în viață în care ai făcut asta. They don't do that with every... Coaie, do you not consider females as being human too? Are there no situations in which you interact with an attractive woman without thinking about fucking it? Are you that fucking twisted în caserola craniană? Caserola, în creierul tău? Caserola craniană.
Exactly.
Right? So, can they? Yes. And that would have been the technicality. Like, when I saw you moving, I'm like, must be something there, right? But overall, most of the time, you're not going to see a man
Da, știu că e cutia. It was a funny mistake.
and be friends with a very overweight woman. You're not going to see a man be friends with an.
Sincer, cred că îi se potrivește mai degrabă îi se potrivesc mai degrabă cuvintele caserola craniană decât cutia.
Very unattractive woman unless there's some kind of financial reward there. So by and largely, I don't buy guy friends, particularly with any girl I'm seeing. It's like, yeah, right.
I think when I think about it, like, and I had a technicality on the other side because I'm like, yeah, part of me really believes that can happen. But then I go back to my experience in life and my friends, and it's really hard. I was running over there in my head, like, should I sit down? But I was running all these scenarios from life experience of my friends who have said that, girls and guys, because it's not just guys, and it's never worked out that way. It just never is. And I think because...
Where do these people, in what circles do they hang out în care nu există guy and girlfriends without any other interest? Sau care nu au any history of trying anything with each other.
And it's if you...
Da, ok, bine, sure. Maybe it happens more often when you're like in your teenage years. Da? Clearly, în care sunt anturaje de alea în care toată lumea, adică fiecare persoană are măcar pe cineva în anturajul care a încercat să se dea la el, să i-a plăcut, whatever. Sure. But I don't know, after that, do you really not have any examples of... Is this a USA thing? No, it's definitely not a USA thing. Am auzit chestia asta și la noi.
You find the person can be, yes, a person can be an attractive person and you not find that person attractive and you be friends.
You have friendship and attraction.
That's my thing.
Yeah,
Part of the relationship is friendship and getting along. And then on top of it, you find that person attractive.
No way.
I just think it's a very rare thing. You know, yes, a person can be attracted to me and you not find them attractive and I can be friends with that person. But if I'm finding that, or if you're finding that person...
Deci zice că în orice relație de prietenie, cel puțin una dintre persoane e atractă de cealaltă. Come on.
Attractive and you build a friendship
and you connect,
then you probably want to be with them.
That's like, I don't think Adam and Micah say it doesn't exist, but to me, just again, in my experience in life and just knowing my friends and people, I don't know one that has worked out that way.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with like your own experiences. Obviously, if that's what you've seen or that's what you personally experienced, that like you yourself couldn't be.
Bine. Next. A man should not cry in front of his kids.
A man should not cry in front of his kids.
It ain't popular. It's not going to be popular to say this. But ideally, you're not going to cry.
De-abia aștept să devină copilul ăla și el un cum îi zice, a can, o conservă care ține emoțiile înăuntru și am învățat din faptul că părinții nu i-au arătat niciodată emoții decât robotice, am învățat că you cannot be vulnerable.
Cry in front of your kids. They cry to you. Is it fair? No. Is life fair? No. Is the dynamic between a man, a woman, a child fair? No. But personally for me, I want to take that responsibility of being the one that's stronger than all of them. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that responsibility. I want that responsibility in my life. I want to feel like I was a hero to them in every way. And I don't think a man that cries in front of his family is not the hero. But ideally, I'm not going to be doing that.
Right. It's weird. I've never actually seen my dad cry till this day.
I think that's where your opinion stems from. Mă duc să-mi iau un suc.
Like, not even once. The kids is looking to their father for that strength. And so if they're seeing their dad cry, right, I feel like that creates fear in the situation the kid has with their father. If you're crying in front of your kids, it's the same thing as crying in front of your girl. It's a bad representation of what you're supposed to be in that situation for them.
Now I'll tell you when I do cry. Bro, when you see like one of those kids with Down syndrome get put in a high school basketball game, he starts nailing threes and the gym goes crazy, bro, I'll be crying my ass off. I'm so happy for the kid. It's like happy, I'm like laughing, I'm like, but other than that, man, no, not at all. Call me heat.
Can the person who like has kids?
I was gonna, but look, I have a father who I've never seen cry. So I get that. I was that man. Again, you have to understand my kids, my middle daughter, who I'm going to talk about, is 26 years old. Now, for some reason, out of all three of my children, that middle girl, from the time she turned 13 to 17, 18, we just butted heads, right? And the relationship wasn't going to where it should be going. And I want to be close to my kids. We sat down, she was about 20, maybe...
De ce e Derek beta? Nu știm de ce vreo unul dintre ei. Credem că beta-urile au fost assigned doar pentru că n-au vrut, cine n-a vrut să identifice ca alfa a fost pus acolo. Cred că doar la alfa puteai să intri prin a zicea, sunt alfa.
19, 20 years old, we had a heart-to-heart about our feelings and how we really felt about each other, and I cried. And
beta assigned us, but
6 years later, some years later, better relationship than we've ever had because she saw a human part of me and not just me trying to be what you guys are talking about, which is a good thing too. You can count, my wife can count on one hand how many times she's seen me cry. I think my son had and my other daughter have it. But I'm going to tell you, for that enriching moment, and that's again just coming with years, of having those tears with her and talking about how important it was that our relationship worked, and then hearing her come back and saying she felt the same way and breaking through that, I'm the father, I'm going to be the strong one, made her break down and both of us be closer than we ever have been.
Can I ask you a question about that? Do you think that if you could have set her down earlier than the age that you did and just had a vulnerable conversation that maybe it could have happened, like it wouldn't have had to build all the way up to tears?
No.
She wouldn't have been
he's talking about tears ca și cum they're a last resort, da? După ce nu s-a mai putut altceva decât tears, așa vorbește ăsta în costum. De parcă they can happen, da, avoid tears at all costs, dar dacă s-a ajuns într-un punct în care e inevitabil înțelege.
To hear it or
no, because what was going on from my understanding of our relationship is that, young people, I'm very independent, my children are very independent, they don't want to be controlled in a certain way. And as a father, you still have to keep that control. She was only seeing that side. So she was only seeing this domineering person trying to squish what she thought that she wanted to be or who she wanted to be. And that wasn't it. I was just trying to play the father role. I saw my dad do it. Never a tear. He's that man, and I was raised by that man, and I took that on. I remember sitting my son down and telling him, boys don't cry. And I still to this day regret that. And I still talk to him, he's 24. I still talk to him about I was wrong because I do not think that's the way we're supposed to live our lives. And I think that's why you go back to the statistic of how a lot of men are depressed. We're supposed to have emotions. We're human. Now, I don't believe every time you turn around, you should be in front of your children, ooh, and your wife,
Of course not. I
think that's a drastic thing. But I know dropping a tear as a father for me made a relationship and so much closer and so much better.
There's no way these straight men have not cried at the national anthem. They're lying.
I'm telling you, I know.
Foarte des bărbați de genul care zic că you shouldn't cry in front of your kids, you shouldn't cry whatever, you shouldn't show emotions. they ajung într-un punct în care they show emotions at the stupidest things ever. Gen, because they reach a point in life în care chestia asta i-a afectat foarte mult, că they bottled up, so, gen, ajung să plângă la... Că, I have an example for that I'm not gonna go much into detail with, dar până la o anumită vârstă, doar până la o anumită vârstă, după aia nu s-a mai întâmplat, taică-miu wasn't like crying. And some of the first times, după aia l-am mai văzut de mult mai multe ori. Poate doar nu-l vedeam eu. Dar l-am văzut după aia pe taică-miu plângând, la gen, uitându-se la... Erau gen colaje cu... Gen History Channel type. În primele dăți, eram mic, dar primele dăți când l-am văzut pe taică-miu plângând, și I knew he wasn't a cryer, gen, spunea și maică mea, știam și de la maică mea, că primele dăți când l-am văzut pe taică-miu were like a History Channel type shit. Plângea Napoleon? Nu. Da, a simțit și el ceva. No, like World War II type stuff and shit. După aia, frăguțe sau frăgute, bine ai venit. Dar Ceaușescu nu. După aia l-am mai văzut în poziții mai vulnerabile și plângea. That was the first things that plângea la Pawn Stars. Era prins leu antilopa. Plângea când i-ai văzut atunci porn history questionable. Te rog frumos, let's not make that information public, ok? Hai, let's... Da? Let's keep that in a close circle. Dacă se poate. Nu cred că am menționat asta pe stream până acum și nu, acum nu o să dezvolt. Nu o să dezvolt ce am văzut. Nu, ai zis tu pe stream? Poate am zis acum foarte mult timp. Dar nu știu cât de în detaliu am zis. Ne-ai zis deja? Ok. I don't want to go into detail about it. Cine știe, știe. Dar nu e questionable, adică nu e problematic or whatever, e doar questionable. Da? It's a thing to ponder, I guess.
What that it would have ever been.
You don't think you could have shown that vulnerability without the cheater?
No.
My dad was capable of expressing emotion, not from this.
Zic categoria și gata. Este o țară. Overwhelmingly. O țară. Da? There is a country. Not like a country la care te-ai gândi gen... Nu. Aia zic, nu sunt alea la care te-ai gândi. Nu sunt gen alea care sunt foarte fetishized on the internet, gen, nu știu, Japonia, Brazilia. Nu sunt gen de alea. No. Something, din nou, e a nationality. It has nothing to do with ethnicity. It has nothing to do with race. It just has to do with the nationality. Cine știe, știe. Că am mai zis o dată pe stream, cred, dar I'm stopping there now.
Standpoint of being a whiny little baby, he held
țara românească din 1900.
held it down on my family. My parents are the happiest couple I've ever seen, still to this day. But my dad was able to, and still is able to, at funerals, be able to show emotion. During movies, when he feels the emotion, be able to show up and do that. I'd never see him whining about like, well, you guys.
Bun, ok, bine, am înțeles cum. Gata, enough of this video. Țara făcărașului. Nu mă, e o țară din Europa. Din Uniunea Europeană. Stop pressuring me. I'm not giving any other details. No, by the way, nobody has guessed it yet. Gata. You're bad at this. The UN summit porn videos. Da, lapte rece, da. Da. I can go more specific than that, but I won't. I'll stop just saying that you were right. That's it. Atât. Gata, ne oprim acolo. I shouldn't have ever talked about it on stream nici când era, nici acum mult timp când am vorbit prima oară. Dar aia e. The cat is out of the bag. Schengen Space